Good evening. The time is now 6:01 p.m. and I call this regular meeting of the Freeport Economic Development Corporation to order. Ken, can you do our invocation? And Ronnie, can you lead us in the pledge?
Father, we come to you this evening. We thank you for life. Thank you that we can meet on a night like this and represent our city and the folks that are concerned and the ones that are just overjoyed with the good things that are happening. And I thank you for that, Lord. Just be with us now through the rest of our meeting. Appreciate everybody being here tonight. Bless them and their families. And we just want to thank you for loving us. In Christ's name I pray. Amen.
Your place flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. We don't do the Texas flag here?
No, not Texas.
Oh, man.
I know, I get used to that one at work. All right, thank you, Ronnie. Thank you, Ken. And that now takes us to citizen comments. Did we have any citizen comments? None submitted? Okay. Seeing none, we're going to move on to our consent agenda. And I'll start by giving everyone a second to look at the meeting minutes from March 12th. And just let us know if there's any corrections or additions. All right. Are there any corrections or additions to the minutes? All right. Seeing none, we'll move on to approve our financials.
Good evening, board members.
Good evening, Ms. Ezo.
The sales tax that was received in March is actually for January. Sales tax are received 2 months after. And the EDC received $87,820, which was a decrease in the same month as last year. Currently, you've received $6,041 more in sales tax than you have from the same time period as last year. Last month, we had a spike up, and then we went back down. So, but I still expect sales tax to come in on budget. As of March 31st, 2024, revenues were under expenditures by $161,166. Again, this is due to the beginning of the year transfers into the projects and marketing funds. The fund balance is $1,664,026. Your project fund has a fund balance of $1,220,451. Your marketing fund has a fund balance of $158,249. The TERS fund has a fund balance of $486,908.
Kathy, that TERS fund,
Yes, sir.
that's an increase, correct?
Yes. I expect January, the revenue has gone up each year, and your property tax, we're pretty much, I have most of it in because January, it's all due January 31st, and most of the TERS has been paid for. I still see a little bit come in throughout the rest of the year, but you pretty much, you're just going to see a few more $1,000s for the next few months until the end of the fiscal year.
Awesome.
Are there any other questions for Ms. Ezo on the financials?
I have two, Kathy. The auto allowance,
Yes, sir.
we've only gone through the first quarter, and we're almost at 50%, 42%. What is that for?
March 31st is the 6 months, and the auto allowance is Robert's contractual stipend for using his vehicle.
That's right. Our fiscal year it's in October, right?
Yes, sir.
I'm sorry.
It's
Yeah,
okay.
I
So we're
wasn't
6 months
thinking there
into
on
it.
that. Okay, that's it. You answered.
All right. Any other questions? All right, we'll go ahead and move on to our quarterly investment report.
As of March 31st of 2024, you have approximately $3.4 million. Robert and I did meet the first few days of April, and we did move $2.5 million out of your bank account into your tax pool investment account. So that'll be reflected on the next investment report. But we did go ahead, we met, we discussed, we agreed upon an amount, and we discussed moving 2.5 million out because we felt that that left you enough, plus with what you get in sales tax, we shouldn't have to move any more money.
All right, any questions on our investment report? Okay, I'll go ahead and entertain a motion to approve our consent agenda.
I'll make that a motion.
All right, we have a motion on the floor. Is there a second?
I'll second.
All right, seconded. Motion by Ken, seconded by Ronnie. All those in favor state aye.
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 All opposed state nay. Motion passed unanimously. And we'll go ahead and move on to number 5, our discussion and action items. And underneath that, number 1, discuss and provide feedback, Four Corners Parking Lot Resurfacing Project.
Yes, Mr. President, tonight we have Adnan Ali from the Four Corners establishment coming to talk to us about the parking lot situation at Four Corners, which is where Arlen's and those places are.
Good evening, how are you?
Good evening. I'm good. How are you?
Good, thank you. So we have a problem with the shopping center over at the Four Corners. We have a bunch of potholes throughout the entire front, back, and sides. Beyond that, we've actually lost a couple of tenants. And I'm sure you guys may have noticed if you drive towards that way, there are some signs for getting new tenants in. But we really need to spend some money that we already have out of our own pocket, but we need to spend more. And that's why I'm here with the EDC to at least get that parking lot and all the potholes completed. Are there questions towards that aspect of it, or?
How do you plan on trying to repair it?
Yeah, so not sure if Robert may have passed along the spreadsheet, but there is a total of 10,656 square foot total that needs to be filled with concrete, I guess. We've already got a couple quotes. We found the best quote that we did so far, and our plan is to actually redo the entire parking lot.
Are the guys that put this proposal together, are they from Freeport, or are they?
They are from Houston.
Okay. And are they're licensed and bonded and all that?
Correct, yes, sir.
Okay.
So they're applying for a grant for the parking lot?
Yeah, we would like a grant.
And would there be a performance agreement attached with this? And if so, who would be responsible for that?
Could you explain what you mean by a performance agreement?
There would be a performance agreement attached with this. What they're doing is they're asking for more money than the business improvement grant could help them with, and so they're coming to the board tonight to talk about the problems with the parking lot. If we did this, we would do it as a project, so there would be a performance agreement, but it would be independent of the business improvement grant program.
I guess I'm not 100% clear. How would that performance agreement work again?
I'm sorry, I didn't hear the question.
I said I'm not 100% clear. How would that performance agreement work again? Can you explain that?
That would be up to the board to decide, but the performance agreement would be, for instance, if they needed $200,000, we could give them a certain amount of that. We could have it be a dollar for dollar grant. We could have it be basically a dollar for dollar grant, or we could grant them the whole proceeds. It would be up to the board to structure the deal, and then we could write the performance agreement based upon that deal.
So we have a lot of flexibility here, or
Yes,
quite a bit. Okay. Because the Four Corners, like, it's multiple businesses.
Multiple businesses.
Arlen's and the gym and the other places.
yes.
And they do need, I live in Freeport, so yeah, this is a definite need. I drive a car, so not a truck. So even getting in the parking lot, it's like the daily gamble. Am I going to scrape the bottom of my car or not?
I wish I could tell you. So we have a sign out there, and my number used to be out there, but now it's our broker's number. And you'd be surprised how many calls I would get or my broker would get of people saying, "Hey, are you the owner?" And I would say no, only because I knew what they're going to say. Hey, get this parking lot fixed,
Yes.
As flexible though, Robert, about the grant, we just spent quite a bit of money, as you know. When that pizza place moved out, when we had to go back and get Takara in there, it was very expensive for us to do that.
How much was that?
Let's see, when we moved the pizza place in, you guys did help. I don't know if you remember or not. You
Yes.
helped with the AC.
AC.
Yeah, so the AC alone was $17,500, which you guys paid half, and we invested $25,000 out of our own pocket. When they moved out, we invested another $25,000, $30,000 out of our own pocket, which we didn't come to the board for. Then, as you know, we lost Family Dollar because Family Dollar is having a pretty, it's just their economy. And I don't know if you guys saw the news or not, but Dollar Tree's planning to close 600 stores nationwide. So we really need to do what we can as well on our side, and we have a plan to do some actions.
How many current businesses are in that are existing in Four Corners Shopping Center?
I have to check, but I think there's like 13, 14, something like that currently. But GAC is leaving also at the end of this, at the end of May. They're leaving as well. And GAC is leaving not because they want to, because there's a homeless issue that homeless will sleep in the back. No matter how many times we've called the police and trespass, the cops will kick them out. They come right back. So
What's the total amount that you'd need for the full parking lot?
somewhere in the neighborhood of 207,000.
270?
207.
207.
How much?
207,000.
I try to stay positive in my life. I think we all do.
Yeah.
Of course, we all have down times and bad things that happen. I've only been on the board for a year. Last August, I believe, is when we came on. But it seems like, how many times have you been up here asking for money?
This is our second time.
Is that right?
There was
An AC issue, an AC?
AC issue, and then wasn't there a parking lot issue too?
This is the parking lot issue.
Okay.
I thought there was something else. There was a roof that was leaking somewhere over there that we gave to, no?
That was Dreeny's.
Okay.
Yeah, that
Okay,
might have been
yeah,
the tenant.
yeah.
It wasn't us.
Let me just ask you, why are you coming to us asking for money to repair your property?
Well, there's several reasons. One, if I can be really frank about this.
I'd like for you to.
Yeah, okay. When we bought the property a couple years ago, our property tax was $2.9 million. When we got the property assessed last year, it was $5.2 million. $2.3 million increase on a property which I have to pay tax for. I'm not sure. I understand, but at the same time, as a business, and it just, we were losing money, the economy went bad, we lost tenants, and it went up $2.3 million. I'm not sure where that justification came from, that somebody woke up one day and said, hey, this property is worth $2.3 million more. So that was one thing.
Okay. It just seems like it continues, people coming in and wanting us to fix their stuff for them. And we want to help people, but, this is a large amount here, bud.
It is, absolutely, it is.
And that's not what I don't think the EDC is for. But that's just, I'm just talking. Maybe
I
we
had
can-
a, oh, were you
Go
done?
ahead.
Okay. I had a question. How much of the 207 would you like us, like, how much would it be ideal for us to help with?
Would a dollar per dollar be reasonable?
So half? I mean, that's up to the board. I just wanted to kind of see where, you know, what you were thinking in terms of the amount. But I do think, to your point, Ken, I think we may see Four Corners frequently because there's so many businesses in that, you know. So it can kind of look like the same group, but it impacts different business. Now, this is for the whole thing, but the other grants impacted specific businesses in the Four Corners.
I have a
And so-
question. I have a question. Your tenants pay a CAM, right?
So we have tenants right now who haven't paid rent in 5 or 6 months.
That shouldn't fall on us. I mean, I'm sorry. I own a business and we pay CAM in mine, and I pay for the parking lot through my CAM, along with the lights and everything else that's out there.
So-
We don't go
so-
to the city of Lake Jackson.
So not every tenant we have pays CAM. A lot of them are on gross leases. The only ones that are on CAM, which will be the Arlen's and the Dollar Tree.
Okay.
Once again, we didn't write a lot of these leases. We took over people's leases when we bought this property 3 years ago.
I have a question. Do we have an established maximum on the amount of grants that we give for, like, parking lots and, you know, I thought that we had established some, max windows for our grant program, so, you know, like with the signs, we only give up to a certain amount. Is that the case with parking lots?
I'm sorry, go ahead, Joe.
Ms. Marshall, I think we're doing this outside of the grant program. So this isn't a grant. It's going to be done as a project.
It's gonna be done as a project, not a grant?
Yes, ma'am.
So are they paying, okay.
Well, we haven't discussed who's paying what. I think he was just presenting his, the situation he's in,
Gotcha.
and was asking us for help.
Members of the board, this is on the agenda for in executive session too. If you want, just to remind you that if you want to consider it there, you can.
Okay. Yeah. Did y'all have any more questions for this gentleman?
I have one more question. Mr. Ali, with this grant, or with this project, you said you would be willing to do it in pieces also?
Yeah, it
In
can be.
phases?
Yes, it can be done in pieces as well. We could do, you know, the worst areas first, start from the very back, and then go towards all the stores.
All right. Seeing no more questions, thank you. Thank you for coming up.
Thank you.
And then we'll discuss the details in executive session. All right, let's move on to number 2. Discuss and take possible action on the Cinco de Mayo sponsor request. And I see Anna coming up.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Anna Silbus, Main Street Coordinator, here tonight on behalf of the Freeport Historical Commission and Main Street Advisory Board to seek a marketing sponsorship from the Freeport Economic Development Corporation to help put on our Cinco de Mayo, our 3rd annual, actually, Cinco de Mayo celebration, which is going to be held Friday, May 3rd from 5 p.m. to 8 p.m. in downtown. With this sponsorship, marketing sponsorship, we are looking to utilize the funds for event T-shirts, provide for a photographer, marketing, and entertainment. And this marketing sponsorship we are requesting is in the amount of $2,500.
What's the total cost?
Currently for Main Street alone, we do have $8,000 budgeted. With this EDC sponsorship request, it would bring the total to $10,500.
And Anna, if I'm not mistaken, our part in this would cover the T-shirts,
The T-shirts,
the photographer and live entertainment. Okay.
Correct. Yes,
Just
and
making
the
sure.
T-shirts do have EDC's logo, Main Street's logo, and any additional sponsors that we do receive.
Okay.
You said our logo will be on the shirts, and what else?
Yes, ma'am. The EDC logo, as well as the Main Street logo, and any additional, the city logo, as well as any additional sponsorships that we do receive.
All right. Were there any more questions? All right. Seeing no more questions, thank you, Anna. Oh, well, you're next, huh?
I'm next again.
But seeing no more questions, I'd like to entertain a motion.
I make that motion.
All right. We have a motion on the floor. Is there a second?
I'll second it.
All right. Motion by Ms. Marshall, seconded by Ken. Any debate or discussion?
I'm going to recuse myself from this because I sit on that board.
Oh, okay. Thank you. All right. All right. All those in favor?
Just to be clear, the motion is for 2,500?
Yes, sir. 2,500. Is that correct, Ms. Marshall?
Yes,
Okay.
that's what she asked for, right?
Yes, ma'am, it is.
Yeah, that's the motion.
All right. All those in favor, state aye.
Aye.
All opposed, state nay. Motion passed. And Rachel, just make note that Ronnie recused himself since he's on that board. Thank you. All right. And that brings us to number 3, discuss UTSA Center for Urban and Regional Planning and Research Study for Downtown Area.
Okay, so I'm here just tonight to provide some updates on that project, but first I'd like to thank the EDC for participating in our community visioning session at the end of March. It was great to have all of you there in attendance and participating and providing your feedback to further help develop our downtown comprehensive plan and design guidelines. So just a few updates. Robert and myself, we did meet with Ian Kane, who is the director for the UTSA Center for Urban and Regional Planning Research, along with Tom Tunstall, who is also the research director for UTSA's Institute for Economic Development. We were just discussing the current economics of Freeport and potential economic scenarios for downtown Freeport. Additionally, as I mentioned previously, we held the community visioning session. This is the first of 2 parts. We will hold a second session in July. This provides the opportunity for not only our boards, but also the community stakeholders to provide their feedback on the draft plan that we will have from UTSA regarding our downtown. That's all the updates I have as of now, but if you have any questions or concerns, I'd be happy to answer those questions.
Well, I don't have a question, but just thank you for keeping us involved in this process.
Well, thank y'all
It's
for
a
helping.
really
Yes, we
exciting
appre-
thing to watch.
We certainly appreciate you being involved and engaged in the project.
Are there any other questions?
No, I just wanted to add that I think you guys did an amazing job putting this event together. It was great to see the community come out and be engaged in conversations at the tables. The one question I do have is, have you had an opportunity to accumulate your responses from the survey that was asked at the end of the session?
I am working that. That is on my to-do list, and I hope to have that complete for our next Main Street board meeting. I'm also working on Main Street reporting right now for our Q1, so it is a priority of mine to have that complete for our next Main Street meeting, but I will provide that to Robert and Rachel so that you all will know the responses that we received, and then I'll be here in May again to provide another update.
That would be great. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Anna. All right, we'll go ahead and move on to number 4. Discuss Gensler Community Engagement Session for Boardwalk Project.
Yes, Mr. President, hopefully we're getting ready to have another great community session. We had a meeting with Jonathan Mitchell at Gensler and discussed the next step in the process, which is the community engagement session. We'd like to have that, and I've got some dates here that I'd like the board to consider. Either May 13th, 16th, or 17th. I crossed out the 14th in your email because that's the date of our regular meeting. Jonathan had said that the best thing to do is to wait 6 weeks to get the word properly out, and we're also kind of patterning it on what we did with the community visioning session that just happened with the Main Street and EDC. So that would be Monday, May 13th, or Thursday, May 16th, or Friday, May 17th. And I kind of was wondering, just kind of an informal poll of the board, if folks would be, the date that I looked at that I think would work best would be a Thursday, the 16th. And I was wondering if the board would be able to attend that day, May 16th.
It'll be around, what, 5 p.m.?
Yeah,
Something like
5:30,
that.
5:30 p.m.
What day of the week?
Thursday.
I mean, for me, just a Friday is always a little better, but I could make Thursday work.
I gotta get with the boss.
I'm good, either day, any of them.
Any of them work?
Ms. Marshall, did you get all that?
Not the very end comment. I just know that he said that it was the Thursday.
Yes, ma'am. Robert was asking us which day would be best, kind of an informal poll.
Now we could do it Monday or Friday also. I don't have any problems with that. I just felt that Thursday might work best.
Anna, did you have some input?
Yes, Main Street does meet on the third Thursday of the
Oh,
month, so
okay.
we would also like to engage in that project as well.
Thank you. So,
17th?
yeah, I would pick the 17th if it were solely up to me. 17th.
Me too.
Ken, what about you?
I will not be able to attend on that,
Okay.
on that Friday.
Would
I can Monday, but that's all right. I don't have to be there. It's okay.
I mean, we could do the 13th also. Oh, wait, that's city council, huh? Or no?
So 17th is on a Friday, is that correct?
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
The 13th is a Monday, and then the 16th, and the 16th is Thursday, and the 17th is Friday.
I'm open.
Why don't we make it Friday?
Okay, yeah, I'm good with that.
Ken, sorry.
That's okay. Anna.
I just don't know if that will interfere with a festival. I don't know if St. Mary's is hosting their festival or has River Place that day as well. Just might be something you want to check into, because that is typically our annual bazaar,
The River Place,
if it's open. So-
right, the River Place was open. The dates they gave as the River Place being open were the 13th, 14th, 16th, and 17th.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure that it was available.
When is Mother's Day weekend?
Oh, you know what?
It's the weekend,
It's the weekend before.
the 12th.
You're gonna have
The
something
12th.
every weekend
It's
Yeah.
throughout the year. You
Yeah.
just pick a date and you go with it.
Yeah. But Ms. Marshall, Mother's Day is on the 12th,
Oh,
so that'll be the previous week.
okay, then. All right.
All right. Was there anything else on this?
No, that's it. We'll just start gearing up for that date then.
Okay. Okay. All right, let's go ahead and take a look at number 5, discuss and take possible action on demolition of 208 West Park Avenue.
Okay, yes, Mr. President, as much as we thought this was behind us, 208 West Park Avenue, we had some intimations that there may be legal action because of and I talked to Lauren about this, that there might be, if we tore down that building, there might be a water disbursement that would go into other people's buildings. We got with Kimley and Horn. Lance helped us get a hold of them, and they have basically stated that the building does need to come down. They're working on a report to say the same, and we didn't want to get into any legal trouble, so we delayed the demolition of 208. We're waiting on that engineering report to come out. I don't know if you wanted to add anything to that, Lauren?
I can tell you that when we drafted the agreement, any liability that would fall for any damage during the demolition would be on the demolition contractor. He provided both an indemnity and an insurance certificate. So, you know, we'd hope that there isn't any, but there shouldn't be any. We hope that there aren't any damages, but there shouldn't be any pushback or liability to the board for doing this. Although the price did go up by $4,000.
Can you please repeat what was just said? I could barely hear them.
I'm sorry. The demolition contract that was signed, or that is on the agenda tonight, does provide for both indemnity and an insurance, so there shouldn't be any liability to the board. But the price of the contract also went up $4,000.
And we knew about that $4,000 increase we had.
Correct. A couple of comments I hear. I think the price increase is definitely within bounds. You know, the disposal efforts are different. I think we've had two engineering firms look at it. I've had some other guys look at it. That thing's a freestanding building. It's on a 4-foot post. They're talking about the rain going in. The roof leaks anyway. I mean, you know, what's the deal there? I think probably the inference here is from other people that have an interest to do something with that. And I think us as a board, we decided we weren't going to spend, you know, $200,000 or $300,000 on a building and then try to lease it. And I think we've decided as a board that we're not in the property management business. We're not in the leasing of a building business. What we're in is to try to do economic development within Freeport as best we can. And that's not renting houses, leasing businesses and stuff like that, from my standpoint, I hope I'm understood. I mean, there are opportunities there for sure. I know the gentleman sitting next to me has probably got some good ideas that we can, you know, lean on. But for my transition, I see it as we need to demo the building. I mean, we've looked at it from all aspects, and I think the good part is that you know, we don't have any liability because contractually, you know, we should be fairly absolved from that, hopefully. Anyway.
Yeah, I agree with Mark. It seems like every meeting there's more and more, you know, I was reading the document that's in here. It looks like more damage has occurred. Or was that already the previous damage?
No, that was the previous.
Oh, that was
yeah.
the previous damage, okay. Well, it's not believable, right, that something else could happen in the short term that could just cause the price to go up more or cause actual damage to someone else's property. So it seems like this is something that needs to happen. And was there any other input on that?
No, that was it from me.
Okay. And then since we've already voted to demolish, there's
Yeah,
no
there's
action, huh?
nothing we need to do.
Okay. All right, if no one has anything else, we'll go ahead and move on. Discuss and take possible action on mowing bids.
We have the 3 mowing bids that we had from last meeting, but there was one additional one that came in late yesterday that was left on your chairs. I hope you've had a chance to look at it. Those are the mowing bids that we've received for the mowing project.
Did we get the one from Alex?
No.
We need to, revisit that. I mean, he's definitely an opportunity. Guy works in Freeport, does Freeport stuff. So I'd like to, give him an opportunity. Do I need to rattle his cage or something? Okay. Good.
So did we do some kind of announcement for the mowing bids? And if so, did we place a deadline on when the bids needed to be submitted?
Yes.
We did.
So we're gonna postpone this for another month, Robert?
I didn't say that. I think
It's-
Mark's
I-
saying that.
If Alex can come across the board, then I'm in favor. I've looked at what these bids are and how much they are. I mean, looking at the one from Gordo, that's 48, and that's how much less money than before, at almost 80 grand. And now he's at 50. We saved ourselves 30 grand right there. And I know he'll do a good job. And I mean, not saying that we accept him or not. I'm just saying that I'm looking at these other bids that you've got. And by the way, you did a great job there. And a lot of these bids, they put some time into it. There's one that I have kind of a question about, but I guess we can entertain it when we get to it. But
Oh, you can ask your question about it now, since
okay. I was looking at, why is it when you get old you can't see stuff as well? I don't know what the deal is with that. Let's see, let me get down here. I was looking at the one that has, if you total up everything, it's $640 a month. Robert, is that correct?
Which one is that?
I'm trying to find it here. Hold on a moment.
What page are you on, Mark?
I'm trying to find it. Okay, let's see. All right, look at page
Joe Garcia?
23 of 35. Okay, and that's Grassmaster. Okay, if we look at that and add up his monthly charges, 230, 750, 55, 60, 60, all those monthly charges, how much is that total a month? Can anybody hit that to me real quick, get some numbers?
With the bi-weekly though, you gotta multiply that times 2.
Right.
Right. What would be that total charge annually? Somebody put some numbers to it, better than me. All right, big word, let's add them up. What I was trying to do is get them comparatively. I mean, one guy's got bi-weekly, and this guy's got, every time you do it and all that sort of thing. So if we looked at it, I want to find it here, okay. Here's the one from Gordo. See, he gives a monthly charge of $4 grand a month, which is 48,000, plus he's gonna charge us $2 grand initially to get set up. And then the one for, Mr. Garcia, he's got small lot, large lot, average acreage per hour, heavy equipment, and all that kind of thing.
Right.
So it's really difficult.
To-
And I mean, you put together, the proposal that you put together for the invitation for bids was well done. And, I sometimes just get guys, going in different directions. But if I'm looking at his stuff, he's like about 37, if I'm, somewhere around 40 grand. And Gordo is at 48. And then the one before that, that's the one I have an issue with. But that's where I am with it. I mean, if I can comparatively, I mean, it's got acreage per hour.
Yeah.
And I tried to add up, all the acreage and all that, and it's hard for me to say, what
With that
what do you-
specific bid from Mr. Garcia.
1785, that's a month. And then times 12, What's that? So that's 21. Jeez.
Because I did another month.
And so we're looking at, what, about 22,000 for, which one is that? Grassmaster's about 22. Gordo's about 48. Alex told me the other day when I talked to him that he was gonna be somewhere in the 50 range. I don't know. But whatever we do, it's certainly gonna be a lot less expensive than $80,000 a year. Yeah, it's tough to.
And then I did the bi-monthly twice. Bi-weekly, so a little more. For every other week. It's bi-weekly, so $95.
Okay. Right. Right.
Because last one was 150, what's it?
Robert, we have two questions for you. Who are we currently using now again, and then what's being done in the meantime since that contract has ended?
We're currently using Grassmasters, and they're going on a month-by-month basis with us.
Okay, okay.
How much is that, Robert?
How much is what?
The Grassmasters monthly?
The Grassmasters monthly is 1,050, or I'm sorry, they're doing every 2-week check, 1,050.
So 2,200 a month times 12 is what?
Like 25,000? 26,400? 26,400.
So we have some at about 30, we got some at about 50, another one at 50.
Well, the one that came in today is 16.8.
I don't know.
It was low.
Yeah, and I'm not always in favor of taking the lowest number. I mean, we all have been bit by that thing. So, I don't know, do we need to, I know Ken wants to try to get this thing settled out, and I'm with you.
No, I would like, can we interview these people? I mean,
Yes.
they should have been here.
We
I
had
have a-
interviews the last time
Yeah,
they came
Gordo,
in.
he was the only
bef-
one that
the
showed
time
up,
when we
wasn't
chose, I think when we chose Grassmasters, I don't know if you were yet on the board, but we had like 3 people come in and they showed us pictures of their work.
Okay.
I'm not I don't know if
I
you were
don't think
here
I
yet.
was yet, but,
Yeah.
yeah, I wish they were here. If they're wanting the job that bad, it's like they'd show up.
Gardo came last time, I
Yeah.
know that.
Yeah, yeah, he did.
Gordo's the only one that's been here that I recognize.
I was gonna ask you, but I think I answered the question to myself. Was there a way that we could get this finalized in between meetings, or is there something we could do?
We could have a special
To-
meeting if you
oh.
want.
That's a really good idea.
Yeah, we could just have a special meeting for this one item, just to get it done with, but also make
And
sure
have
we
them
do
all
our due
come in?
diligence. Yeah.
Okay.
What, to award the contract?
Yes, ma'am, just so that we can make a more educated decision, because it's, all the bids have different, not completely different, but they all have different ways to calculate how they're gonna charge us. And it makes it difficult to compare exactly what we'd be, spending.
So, when we advertise our bids, do we create a scope of work?
Yes,
So everybody's bidded on the exact same thing?
that is correct.
But the way that they submitted their bids, they calculate differently, or?
Well, one gentleman wanted to calculate it by the hour and equipment rented. Mr. Garcia did, and that kind of threw that bid off.
Because we don't know how long it would take him, and we don't know exactly what equipment he would use for what. Unless he specified that, which,
Can you get a hold of them and see if they can maybe come next Monday or Tuesday for a quick meeting?
Sure.
And then we'll be through with this thing.
Okay.
Yeah, I agree. Can we, I think we need to put closure to this, and we've got some
Yeah.
great opportunities here to save a few bucks.
Yeah, 'cause how long have we been working on this mowing bid?
a while.
Yeah. So who's mowing in the meanwhile?
Grassmasters is mowing month to month.
Okay, well, go ahead, Ms. Marshall.
How did we come up with that? Were they the last ones with the contract? No.
Yeah,
Yeah, they were, right?
They had the active contract.
That was the one we chose, and I remember when they came in and interviewed, and we got to speak to them, and a couple of others. The previous person that was doing it, a previous group, and then there was somebody else that wanted the job as well. But we'll go ahead and save that, I guess, for a special meeting coming shortly, and we'll go ahead and move on to number 7. Discuss parks renovation project.
Okay, the parks renovation project, we've seen 7 different entities with corporate entities and have done the presentation with them. Now we're at the point where we're circling back and asking, because once you give the presentation, it's got, in many cases, it's had to go to a board. It's not just unilaterally decided upon. So we've given the presentation, and now they're in the process, the companies are in the process of deciding and taking it to their boards and deciding how much money they can or will expend on the project. We were awarded one $50,000 grant from Phillips 66. I'm at liberty to say that. Right now, we're working with Benevity, which is their system that they've set up to, you sign up with that system and it verifies your credentials as a nonprofit organization. And so we're in the process of getting verified with Benevity before that money will be released to us. And so, like I said, we're now circling back, trying to see if we're going to be awarded other funds from the other entities that we've talked to.
How many more outstanding? Like,
There are 6 more that are outstanding out of 7.
All right. Were there any other questions for Robert about the parks renovation project?
so it'll be a while before we make a decision on how much we're actually going to spend on this project, correct?
That's correct. That's, can you hear me? That's correct. That's correct.
Yeah. Ms. Marshall, did you get that?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. If there's nothing else on the parks renovation project, we'll go ahead and move on to number 8. Discuss and take possible action on Gerard's hardware store 100th anniversary.
Yes, Ms. Marshall asked me to put this back on. Gerard's Hardware Store 100th anniversary. I hadn't heard anything from Gerard's, but their 100th year anniversary is this year. The last time we talked to them, they had told us to put this on hold. And I've heard nothing else, but Ms. Marshall asked for this to be on the agenda.
Ms. Marshall, did you have anything for us in regard to Gerard's 100th anniversary?
No, I didn't know that they had asked us to put it on hold.
Oh, okay.
I just didn't want it to go,
Yes, ma'am.
yeah.
To be forgotten.
I wanted to make sure that, you know, as a city and as an EDC, that we did something to recognize them for their service to our city. I just think that's important. And that's part of what business retention and expansion is all about. It's about, you know, giving recognition and showing appreciation to our businesses and letting them know we appreciate them being in our, you know, being in our city and providing employment and services. So I just wanted to make sure that we acknowledge them for their 100 years of service, but I didn't know that they asked us to put it on hold. I really hope that they'll allow us to celebrate them. So I guess we'll just wait. Maybe you can reach back out to them, Mr. Johnson, and see if there's any update or, you know, if they would like for us to continue or just not do it, just to let us know.
Ms. Marshall, this is Ken. I did talk with Trey and his wife, who are the owners of Gerard's, several months ago, and suggested to them to get a hold of Bob Phillips of Texas Country, which is a Saturday afternoon 30-minute program, which they've been doing for 50 years. And she did email, they needed it by email, and she did email them, and Trey's wife told me that they would get a hold of me whenever they decide something. So that may have been the reason that they told Robert to put this on hold. So that's the possibility of why we're doing that. Okay?
Okay. I just wanted to make sure we did something for them, you know. That's a pretty big deal, 100 years. I just want to make sure we acknowledge them.
Definitely. Is there any other input on Gerard's 100th anniversary? All right, seeing none, that takes to our board and executive director comments. Ms. Marshall, can you please start us off?
Yes, so again, I just wanted to commend the Main Street Board for the event that they had with UTSA here in Freeport. I think that it was really good to have the public come out and be able to make comments and provide their input. I'm really looking forward to them doing the same for our upcoming event. And, you know, hopefully we'll get some really good positive feedback so that we can move forward with our project. Let's see. Oh, I had asked to get an update on retail strategies. I didn't see that on the agenda.